The co-parent was meant to have the children this weekend, or to call, or to collect them, and they didn't. Maybe they canceled at the last minute. Maybe they just didn't appear. Maybe the promised contact simply evaporated with no explanation. And you're left holding a disappointed child and your own familiar mix of anger, worry, and weariness, wondering how many times this can happen and what it's doing to your child.
If you're listening, something at home has shifted. Maybe recently, maybe a long time ago. Welcome, I'm Remy. This is CoParentSpace, the calm space for parents and children living between two homes. What you'll hear is grounded in attachment science and clinical research. It isn't therapy, and it isn't medical or legal advice. If you or your child are struggling, please talk to someone who can help in person. This is a quiet place to think. It doesn't take sides. Here's today's piece.
It's happened again. The co-parent was meant to have the children this weekend, or to call, or to collect them, and they didn't. Maybe they canceled at the last minute. Maybe they just didn't appear. Maybe the promised contact simply evaporated with no explanation. And you're left holding a disappointed child and your own familiar mix of anger, worry, and weariness, wondering how many times this can happen and what it's doing to your child. This is the entry point to a hard module, the one for parents whose co-parent isn't reliable, present, or in some cases, safe. If you're here, the rest of the library may have felt like it was written for a gentler situation than yours. Two reasonable, present parents working things out. Your reality is harder, and this module is for it. This piece is about the unreliable parent, the one who keeps not showing up. A co-parent who repeatedly doesn't show up wounds a child through an accumulation of disappointments that teach them not to rely on someone meant to be a foundation. And this is genuinely harmful in ways worth naming honestly. You can't control the co-parent's reliability, and trying to is a source of much wasted suffering. What you can control is your own response, which is more powerful than it feels. Buffer the child with honesty and warmth rather than false excuses or condemnation, meeting the disappointment, keeping your anger out of it, and anchoring the child in your steady presence. And above all, be the reliable one, since a child can withstand one unreliable attachment far better when they have one rock-solid one, which your dependable presence provides. You can't make your co-parent show up. You can be the parent who always does, and that steadiness is much of what carries your child through the disappointment of one who doesn't. You can't make them reliable. You can be the foundation that doesn't move, and a child with one steady parent can withstand a great deal from one who isn't. A note before we begin. This module holds two truths at once. Some of these situations improve, and some don't. The writing won't pretend everything is fixable through better communication, because sometimes it isn't. It also won't treat your situation as hopeless, or your co-parent as beyond all change, because sometimes things do shift. The honest stance is somewhere in between, and that's where we'll try to stay. If you are not safe in your relationship, or if you are concerned for a child's safety, this episode is not the right place to start. A domestic violence helpline in your country can support you. The rest of this library will be here when you're ready. What the no-show does to a child. A child counts on the people they love to be there. When a parent repeatedly doesn't show up, the child absorbs something painful, not in one dramatic blow, but in an accumulation of small disappointments that add up to a hard lesson that this parent can't be relied on. The canceled weekend, the call that never came, the plan that fell through again, each one is a small wound, and repeated,
they teach the child to expect to be let down by someone who's supposed to be a foundation. This is genuinely harmful, and it's worth naming that honestly rather than minimizing it. A child with an unreliable parent often carries real hurt, and sometimes a quiet self-blame, the magical thinking that maybe if they were different, more lovable, better, the parent would show up. They may swing between hope and disappointment, getting excited each time and crushed each time. They may eventually protect themselves by pretending not to care, which isn't the same as not caring. The unreliability costs the child something real.
You can't make this not hurt, and pretending you can isn't useful. What you can do is shape how the child experiences and make sense of it, which has a large effect on how much lasting damage the unreliability does. A child with an unreliable parent, but a steady, supportive other parent who helps them through the disappointments, does far better than a child left alone with the hurt. Your role is significant, even though you can't fix the source of the problem. What you can't control and what you can. A great deal of the suffering in this situation comes from trying to control the thing you can't, the co-parent's reliability. You can't make them show up. You can't make them keep their promises, prioritize the children, or become the parent you wish they were. This is hard and painful to accept, and accepting it is also freeing because it lets you stop pouring energy into the impossible and redirect it toward what you actually can affect.
What you can control is your own response, and it's more powerful than it feels. You can be the reliable one, the steady foundation that anchors the child regardless of the co-parent's chaos. You can help the child make sense of the disappointment in a way that protects them. You can avoid adding your own anger to their hurt. You can decide how the no-shows are handled in practical terms. And you can seek the help and structures that exist for chronically unreliable arrangements, which later articles in this module cover. This shift from trying to fix the co-parent to focusing on what you can actually do for the child is the foundation of surviving this situation with your child's well-being as intact as possible. The co-parent's reliability is theirs. The child's experience of the unreliability is something you can genuinely shape. Buffering the child without lying. When a parent doesn't show up, you have to say something to the child, and finding the right thing is delicate. Two instincts pull in unhelpful directions, and the path runs between them.
One instinct is to cover for the co-parent with excuses and false reassurances. I'm sure they're just busy. They really wanted to come. They'll definitely make it next time, I promise. This comes from wanting to protect the child from the painful truth, but it backfires, especially over a pattern, because it sets up expectations that get broken again, teaching the child that the reassurances are hollow and leaving them hurt anew each time. You can't keep promising a reliability you don't control. The other instinct is to let your anger show, to tell the child how unreliable and selfish the co-parent is. This burdens the child with your contempt for a parent they love and puts them in the middle of an adult conflict on top of their own disappointment.
The path between is honest, age-appropriate, and warm, without either false excuses or condemnation. You acknowledge the disappointment as real. You don't manufacture reasons you can't stand behind. You don't attack the co-parent. And you offer the child your own steady presence as the thing they can count on. I know you were really looking forward to seeing Dad, and he didn't come. That's disappointing, and it's okay to feel sad or angry about it. I don't know why he didn't make it. What I do know is that I'm here, and I love you. You've met the feeling, stayed honest, kept your anger out of it, and anchored the child in your reliable presence. That combination protects the child better than either excuse-making or truth-telling with an edge. For an older child who can see the pattern clearly, honesty matters even more,
because false reassurances insult what they already perceive. They do better with calm acknowledgement of the reality paired with your steady support than with a defense of the indefensible. Being the reliable one.
The single most protective thing you can do for a child with an unreliable parent is to be unfailingly reliable yourself. A child can withstand one unreliable attachment far better when they have one rock-solid one. Your steadiness, your showing up, your keeping of promises, your dependable presence becomes the secure base that holds the child even as the co-parent's unreliability buffets them. This means being scrupulous about your own reliability, since you are now carrying more of the child's need for dependability. Keeping your promises, being where you say you'll be, being the parent the child can absolutely count on. It also means being the steady, calm presence that helps the child through the disappointments the co-parent causes, the one who's there to hold them through the letdowns rather than adding to them. Over time, your reliability does real work, giving the child at least one foundation that doesn't move, which is much of what protects them from the worst of the unreliability's effects. This is a heavy role, carrying more than your share of the child's need for a dependable parent, and it's worth acknowledging that it's a lot to hold, especially over a long time. The closing piece in this module on the single functional parent reality speaks to that load directly. For now, the core point is that your reliability is the most powerful protection available to your child, and it's entirely within your control to provide. The line you carry.
That's today's piece. If it helped, the full written version, and more like it, are at CoParentSpace.com. Be gentle with yourself. I'll be here next time.